truth shall set us free. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Challenge the power. Just check if the power is in.
Okay, we are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, press, the moment that we have been waiting for is here. Let me recognize the presence of President Mao Sampa, the National Chairperson, Charity Katongo Banda, members of the Central Committee that are here behind me, the leadership at the district level, at the provincial level, district level, and the constituents. You are most welcome to this press briefing. Most of all, just to welcome members of the press. You've come in numbers. We are so grateful that you could make it. And without wasting your time, let me call upon President Mao Sampa to address you. And in addressing you, you address the nation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy SG. When PF was formed in 2001, President Michael Sat as First Secretary General was Reflective. So it's done a 360. This is the 2026. Is our Deputy SG. But allow me to introduce key people. I'll give them the mic now. Say your name and your title. I'll start with the beautiful lady next to me.
Thank you, my president. My names are Charity Mlenga Katongo Banda, the genuine PF. The time I joined PF, and whatever I'm going to say today, just have to sink in everyone's mind. I'm very, very genuine PF. I joined PF in 2001, and I've made this presidency. I'm a kingmaker. I'm proud to say so, and I stand for the truth. At my age, when I joined PF, I was a youth. Today, I'm a grandmother, and I'm proud to tell all of you that I'm happy with whatever is going to happen today. I'm a happy soul. I've done what my soul has told me, my heart is telling me. So nobody is going to tell me what to do. I came alone in PF. I just called Vasata. I want to join you. So even today, it's up to me to do what is right. It's my right. I'm a Zambian. I stand to save the Zambian. And I've got a lot of people who move behind me. Those who come in my inbox to ask me where you'll be, it's where I'll be. So I'm a proud mother. From a youth to a mother, and then a grandmother. Thank you. That's Charity Katongo for you, band. And then I want to, thank you, Mr. President. I want to remind the people that me, from the time I joined PF, I've never served a bigger position. I've never been a minister. I've never been whatever biggest positions. But I want to thank my president, Mao Sampa. He was given the presidency by the court. And now, I just want to remind people to say, it's not easy. I was sleeping in my bed when he just thought, for the time I've spent in PF, it's rare for people to recognize who you are. He recognized me and he told me, my sister, from the time we've been together, I think, vice national chairperson. But meanwhile, as at now, I think the national chairperson for PF. Ila position ya kweteba mayoba inonge winner. Position ya kweteba mayoba jini kapata. Those are the people, in fact, like these ones whom I'm talking about. 3/4 of those who are in PF today, they found me in PF. Because some of them, they joined Pachiro Chava Lungu. Pachiro Chava Santa. Which is okay. One thing, PF, we don't have cards. And when you don't have a card, then we are all members, and we used to agree to that. It's not about money. It's not about anything, but it's the brains which we use. And the wisdom. I have a lot of women. It's politics, Nalesa. I trust my God. I had to pray hard. When Sampa came to tell me to say, my sister, let's wait. It's because I knew that Mao Sampa is the president of PF. No two ways about it. So for today, wherever he is, that's where I'll be. Wherever PF will be, that's where I'll be. Some people have gone in other parties because they don't belong to PF. They found us, and there is a trend whereby from when UNIP lost, people ran from UNIP to MMT. When MMT lost, a lot of these people, even those who are studying today in PF to say they are PF, they were MMT, but we welcomed them. So what's wrong with that? I'm just human, and I just want to tell people to say, it's not about people thinking about Indalamanda. No, we are not talking about money here. We are talking about Ukubomba, Tientu Bombe. Thank you.
Vasatana vaitgalungu vari vashire plot ku state road jikulu vasakula ka 7th quarter taponga kule nganda nomba chali umine umupini mu 2021 vaikala fye kulya mulya mu 7th quarter mu veikala nomba bali balabako tapavo wewe bukisha na ile pageti pavo pipi kuingira okusanga n'abalala 13 hours natimayo iseni kwati vile mwana wasa bamubufishe nati seti mayo ni wewe wachare dwa PF te papa tabale batumina abantu the last 6 years number 4 yenirelira batu bali mulabireko. Anyway, in the interest of time, before I read my statement, let me introduce the man here. He will tell us who he is and what positions he held in government under Sapa's government, and then we move on to my statement.
Good afternoon, everybody. Amaka? Wato? 2011, I was the first provincial minister appointed by President Sata on the Copper Belt. From there, I moved to Western Province as provincial minister. Then I moved to Southern Province as provincial minister. Then I came to Lusaka as deputy minister, local government. From there, I went to Chiefs and Traditional Affairs, where President Lungu appointed me as deputy minister. So my name is Honorable John Kfuna. I'm Honorable John Kfuna. I am the Vice President of Patriotic Front. I'm the Vice President of Patriotic Front. Thank you.
Anyway, Vice President of Patriotic Front. Last person to introduce Chikashanesa. Hard-working woman, Tapaliunga Mushta, Wakukasama Uyu, Naribana Mkwe since Basata died, and she's strong and believes in the PF. If there's only 2 people, 3 people I can pick on and say, they are PF. When you cut their veins, there'll be green blood. It's her, Charity and Wakfuna, and many others. But her, I since appointed as the Deputy Secretary General of the Patriotic Front, Madam Petronera Nkumbula. Mweneshina, umuntu wakasama, but asasanganishina Nkumbula. Just from there, to tell you that this thing has got some history. My sister, introduce yourself, and Landa, nakupera 2 minutes. Landa chitikuumutima chifume. Romuchibembo lande.
Natotela mkwai, my full names are Petronella Nkumbula. Ngefe balanda ba president. Twafumana bokutalisana ba Sampa. Since muli basata. Eba ishiba abantu abachulire chipani ba mouse. Eba chipani chale formingwa since muli basata. Eba ishiba imishila sha PF. Pamishila sha PF na ine epondi. Ngama umfati Nkumbula. Nkumbula's family is a political name. Kufikolwefi, kulakuna mwala kuisa, once Nkumbula's family is a political name. So as a family, tuadibama politics. My father was the former mayor for Kasama, Mr. John Nkumbula. So tuadibama politics. Ama politics, take ama emotions. If you use emotions in politics, then you are not a politician. Ama politics kubonfia amanuali 5 ngefe ba PF twakwata simbo yesu ikofi ipilibulo okukwata amano ali 5 nokumona umwena ufa ulenda kuma politics. Then ama politics ngakwata ama emotions yako yafati walipata omuntu tawachona chwampatira, then you are not a politician, you are a bitter man or you are a bitter woman. Amen. So in politics tulolesha ifilipo nefyo ifinto fo filenda. abengi abayisa mu PF tabayishwa PF okuyatandikira n'okulusa kwaba Edgar Chagwalungu nyabenya abantu bayishire tujoina because bayishire balusisha ba Edgar Chagwalungu bamawusa bali campaign ku matero amavoti bafunisha ku matero yengi sana bonse ngefe bafunisha ngakwadi ukupita number now inshitana oyalifikire yabanenso kuti nabatekepo ifintu fasa fibomba nenshita fibomba nalesa takwabe chintu ichibererera ifintu fasa fyali kwa tenshita apenshita yalisa isa ba UPND baisa senda power so inshita yalifikana bene yabo iyakutekapo but tetule bafe bitter we muntu for nothing. Me, I'm not a bitter woman. Narishiba, I'm a politics efo. I understand politics very well. Chalandefi ngiba president, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You Mayor Isa, will you aim in Nepal with independence? Rather than Anguashta withdraw, stay introduced.
Amashina Yandi, Neo Kawale Crispin. I'm the provincial chairman for PF in Lusaka province. I'm a immediate retired councillor. I've served as a councillor from Mbeshwad for 10 years. And in politics, I've been in politics from 2001, from the same school of my coach in Kasata. I've been with the boss for a long time. I understand him, and I see what happens. Politics, you take one garayo. It's a serious business. You should be able to look at statistics, and you see what is happening. You also got to pretend the quite you know what you Brazil, very terrible Zambia, everywhere that was Zambia. That's the independent candidate for the seat of Lusaka mayor. Where's Council Yato? Is he here? Chisango Yato, is he here? Okay, it's not here. That said, let me move to my statement. You must listen attentively, because after this, I will not hold any other press conference until after the August general election. Then I'll come and pick it up from this press conference. It's going to take, the speech will take about 20-30 minutes. And it's deliberate, because I'll not call you again for a press conference. Because after this, it will be time for action. Here we go. This day, 5th June 2026, I'm speaking in my capacity as president of the Patriotic Front and my capacity as chairman of Tiende Alliance. Let me tell you a bit of the background, because it's important so that everyone understands where we are. Because most just pick up now, they just hear of the name Sampa and they pick up now, and they can understand why. So I found it prudent for this press conference to start with my background. Here I am. My political journey began in 2010. In 2010, that was when I was fired by the Bank of Zambia. When I was fired by the Bank of Zambia, then, and the president then was Rupia Banda, I was fired at Finance Bank by the Bank of Zambia like a common criminal out of my Finance Bank office, and at the time I had a very big position as Director of Treasury and International Banking. So all the money for the bank were under me, and all the transfers, international transactions were under me. I was that trusted. In the bank, I couldn't steal even a one-way, and I remain trusted to this day. The Bank of Zambia, they sent gun-wielding paramilitary police to help me pack paperwork and leave the bank premises. I was in my office and just came a paramilitary, Vasondela, and no, pack, you are fired. It's never happened to anybody. And the offense then, they said, the real offense then, is then opposition leader Michael Sata, who was my uncle. I didn't choose that he be my uncle. I just found myself, it was like that. Had a personal bank account in the bank. So he had an account in the bank like many other people. And when he sends the some of his messengers to cash a check. He would say Kaperen Mouse, then it would be cashed. All his money, nothing illegal. But then the Bank of Zambia and the president of the day just took advantage of that, found some other flimsy grounds, and the entire bank was just actually closed. Finance bank was closed. Boom, it's closed. Fast forward, I took them to court to ask them what I've done for them to fire me like that. That was 2010. And between 2010 and now, I've won many cases against the Bank of Zambia, against Finance Bank, and they keep compensating me handsomely. So even when they pay me, I go back, I win, they pay me again. Even when they pay me, I go back, I win, they pay me again. And I'm not finished with them. They'll keep paying me because they destroyed my entire professional career that I'd worked for on something on political grounds. But that, as it may happen, it triggered the political animal in me. And I realized, oh, this is what goes on. So in the following year, in 2011, I complained to Sat at the time. He said, don't worry, things gonna be all right. So I campaigned hard for the PF and Michael Sata, and we went around the country. I was following Michael Sata, campaigning with him. I was on his campaign trail. I was part of his fundraising committee, and we ended up beating Rupiah Banda in 2011, and we beat the MMD. The first thing Michael Sata did was take that finance bank, give it to the owners, and the rest is history. Give it to Rajan Matani because it was very unfair. Boom, fast forward, in 2014, even in Michael Sata's time, and will never steal anyone is one way. If it's not my money, I'll keep it and give you a receipt and pay you back. That's why you find those who steal from me, even one way, I take them to the police. I don't believe anyone should steal money that is not for them. So in 2014, President Michael Sata died. I was tipped to replace him at the convention, but yet another parallel convention was held where President Lungu emerged as the winner. In the elections that where President Edgar Lungu was the candidate. Before I even said that, this part we forgot, but Charity, may we please be upstanding and observe a minute of silence in honor of President Edgar Lungu's 1 year memorial. Today is the day that he died. To this day we are all hurt, and as they say, death is not ours but for God. So may we observe a minute of silence in honor of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu that died a year ago today.
Amen. May his soul rest in peace. Amen.
May his soul rest in peace. Amen. So I was reading in 2014, President Sata died, and I was tipped to replace him, but there was another parallel convention that elected President Edgar Lungu. And in the end, he's the one the party went with, and at the time, I supported him, I gave him the bit of money I had, I put in, and President Edgar Lungu narrowly won, beating the opposition leader at the time, President Hakainde Hichilema, in 2015. Within months of his government, I felt ignored because he put me back as a deputy minister when I thought should have had better, but I took it, and then I felt sidelined and put on the bench, mostly because those people that surrounded him, the people that surrounded President Edgar Lungu, I'll come back to that aspect of people surround presidents. The people that surround him kept bad-mouthing me. They kept telling him, why we mouse this, mouse that, I need to challenge. So they kept backbiting me, end of 2014. And consequently, I resigned from President Edgar Chagwa-Lungu's government early 2016 and formed my own political party called Democratic Front. I'm saying this for those who don't remember or know the history, so that they understand the present. In grade 8 history, they told us we are learning history to understand the past, so we appreciate the present. We learn about Shaka, how Shaka died, what happened, so that we understand the present. I got a distinction in grade 12 history. I enjoyed Shaka. And now I understand the present. I understand that Chief Mpezeni ran away from Shaka in South Africa, in Natal, KwaZulu, because Shaka was fighting everyone. Then they ran away. Zwangenda and the Ndebele also ran away and they settled in Zimbabwe. Those are the Ndebeles. But the Ngonis also ran away and they kept running. When they arrived in Lusaka here, Shaka died. They didn't even know because there were cell phones. There were no cell phones. They kept running away for another 10 years until they arrived in Chipata. And they sat there with their chief called Mpezeni. And the Chief Mpezeni is the one who's died a few days ago. And so I understand what happened. And may he so rest in peace. He was a chief for all of us. He was a chief. If there's only one chief, that was a chief for the Bemba, for the Tonga, for the Ruvali, for the Easterners. It was Chief Mpezeni, my own uncle. The only chief I could joke with Chimbuya, because I picked it up with him joking with Sata. The only chief who smiled when he saw me. And I take him that he was the chief for all Zambians. And it's a pity that he's died. May he so rest in peace. So I felt ignored in that government and I resigned from President Edgar Lungu in 2016, his government in 2016, and formed my own party called DF. Here is a big part. Within months to me forming that party, Home Affairs Minister then, Davis Mwila, used his powers under the Registrar of Societies and deregistered my party called the DF. For no genuine reason, they registered it. So me and the Registrar of Society, even where we are now, they deregistered my party in 2015. And that was a few months before the 2016 elections. Took the matter to court then, but was evident was not going to be allowed to stand. The idea of the Registrar of Society then registering my party was so that I don't stand. I then went in an alliance with the UPND, that's 2016. There at the Chainama Hotel, Cresta, now Cresta. I went in an alliance, not joined. Looks like in Zambia people don't know the word alliance, endorsement, and joining. Then they just say, I join. I'm gonna join America. Don't talk about me joining. There's alliance and there's endorsement. I went into an alliance with the UPND. Twende mabilite mwenso. Olubaneba malipatana nga kwa isa ifirwani kuikatana. And I endorsed President HH then in 2016. How could I have endorsed the people who are fighting me and registering my party and doing all manner of transgression against me? Even after I supported President Edgar Lungu in the 2015 elections. Together with President HH in those campaigns for 2016, we transversed the country in his chopper, seated next to each other, two of his current ADCs. We used to fly with President HH in his chopper. In 2016 campaign, I'm seated here, Chakawa is here, the one you call, the one you call the secretary from Beijing in front there, President HH here, and another one there. And we traveled the provinces of Zambia, having Maeo for lunch, parking in the bush, just to have lunch, and we transversed all over the country. And at that time, President HH did not pay me anything. I don't need anyone to pay me anything to make a political decision. I'm a self-made person. I've told you how I worked in the bank.
and I earned my money there. I still continue to earn in the bank because I still keep taking them to court and winning for firing me. So I don't need anyone to pay me to make a decision. When I reconciled with President Edgar Lungu recently, they said, oh, he has been paid. Whatever decision I made, he has been paid. No. If anybody even pays me to make a political decision, I'll refuse. I don't need that. I make political decision made based on my personal conviction and what's best for the country. First, so that election HH lost narrowly. I still wonder whether he genuinely lost, but that is for history. Fast forward, there was a mayoral by-election in Lusaka a few years later after 2016-2018, and I was fielded by the PF after President ECL and I reconciled. President ECL, President Edgar Lungu, who we are honoring today's memorial, we were colleagues. That's why we didn't have a problem reconciling. Just like friends, when you disagree, you easily reconcile. Because in 2011, we campaigned together. He was helping me campaign in Matero, I was helping him campaign in Chawama, sending my music system there. I was helping Balu and Munali, sending my music system, Jean Kapata in Mandevu, Lubinda in Kawata and Lusaka Central, where guys called were the team. We are holding each other. So we helped each other win. So because of that, along the way, you find we were fighting, but we were still reconciling. Trouble is, even when we reconcile, those people around him, they were still upset. They were just wanted us to let go. And so we reconciled, and he helped me campaign, and I became the mayor of the city of Lusaka. But then, I must say that after I became the mayor, people still continued to fight me, going to President Lungu. Sir, this mouse, he's trying to outshine you as a mayor. He's decampaigning you by removing street vendors. They just didn't want me to work as a mayor. I stuck in there and did the best I could. That's how I even came up with Boba TV. They couldn't allow me to work. So I said, okay, I'll keep myself busy as a mayor. And I did what I could. Then fast forward, 2021, President Edgar Lungu, I wanted to continue as mayor, but President this year directed me to leave the mayor seat for somebody else, the lady, and I campaigned, and I was told to go to Matero and stand as MP. I campaigned my lungs out for President Edgar Lungu to win in 2021, and even got stabbed for it, just trying to fight for his vote. We produced massive votes in Matero for President Edgar Lungu, but he was let down elsewhere. Kumbyuku, he was let down. And HH won landslide by over 1 million votes. That's in 2021. Those are facts. ECO resigned as president of PF. I'm saying this so that won't somebody ever kaboke or like saying Mao's has destroyed PF, so that they understand that it's not me, but them who did it, who destroyed PF. PF is not dead, but was destroyed, not by me, by them. It started from the day we lost elections in 2021. They made President Edgar Lungu lose elections. They betrayed him. Instead of campaigning and protecting his votes, they were in hotels chilling and whatever. And all those MPs, they should show you how many votes they brought for President Edgar Lungu in 2021 and how many I brought. I beat all of them in contributing to Edgar Lungu to stay in power. They let Edgar Lungu down. They let President Sata down. They let the PF down. But you found them, now we'll PF, now we'll PF. But I brought more votes than you. Imweni Shimule Chidisha. So after ECO lost, he resigned as PF president and a convention was called. My attempt to stand was being blocked directly and indirectly, but I prevailed and was declared the president then, and I've been declared the president of the PF many times in the courts of law. My relationship with ECL became strained after that, when it was clear that he wanted to come out of retirement to claim the PF presidency. President ECL meant well. After he lost, he says, I've retired and I want to stay home. But these same people who made him lose were going to him, no, come back, sir, come back, come back. And I kept saying, no, let the old man rest. And that was 2-3 years before elections. And I was telling them, if you really want him to come back, at least let him, bring him back kuma last. Now I'm quarter player ungengisha. Now Mwishbat player is of age. You want to bring the player first half. You bring the player kuma last to score. But they say, no, come now. Why too short to Namayo? No, don't say all those noise makers. They're the one who misled President Edgar Lungu. He was resting there quite a bit. Come now, come in the fight. We later on, when it was clear President Edgar Lungu wanted to come back, we reconciled with President Edgar Lungu. The pictures are there, and he was to become the candidate for 2026 now, and we were talking that I become the potential his running mate. But those to my people around him, because they hate me, they were upset with me meeting him. And he made sure I met him without them knowing. And that's the last time I got to see President Edgar Lungu, and may his soul rest in peace. Within a few months later, ECO died in South Africa, and unfortunately he has remained unburied to this day due to the burial protracted court battles between the family and the Zambian government. I can only hope and pray that this impasse ends sooner and we put our former president to rest. Enough is enough. It's been going on for 1 year. It's even embarrassing in Zambia to the international community. Here is Bampezeni. Last week we are burying on Tuesday. And he's a paramount chief who's been on the throne for over 40 years. And it's no longer who is right or who is wrong. We need to put our president to rest. I'm happy there's a judgment coming on. Wherever the judgment goes, we need to put our president to rest. It's an Zambian. We don't even know how to defend it. So I just call upon all those parties involved, the family and the government, to ensure that it's put to burial as soon as possible. Where I am and my ever status quo is in the geopolitics of Zambia, I'll keep doing quiet diplomacy to ensure that the President ECO is buried. I have no access to the family, so I can't influence there. The family is kept somewhere, and when you ask people who are connected, and they keep them hidden, and so we stay away. That is another talk for another day. Meantime, after President Lungu has died, my troubles with the Registrar of Societies are since reincarnated. After my close ally, I appointed my close ally and friend of long time from Matero as Secretary General, as the PF Secretary General Morgan Mona. He flipped on me and instructed them to remove my name as president of the PF, and they did. Remember, I was saying how the Registrar of Society was on me under Davis Mwira. They registered my party in 2015. And they came back to me in 2026, again removed me as president because my own personal friend, Secretary General, told them to. I've won in the court in several occasions for the last 3 years, but the Registrar of Society have refused to reinstate me back as president on the PF record. Deja vu, so it keeps repeating itself with the Registrar of Societies. Maybe my middle name should be Registrar of Societies. Since a new law meant the PF could not participate in the August 2016 elections, majority have since resigned from the PF. They were very quick to run away from the PF. They were very quick to run away. And they've gone to join other political parties where they have stood as presidential or running mates. I too, later on, I filed in to stand as an independent MP for Lima. All along I said I won't go for presidents to bring unity. But that as it may be, I filed in Lima as independent candidate MP, but I was forced to withdraw after it became clear that another law stated that I had to resign from the PF to remain eligible as independent candidate. I opted to resign as independent MP and remain as a member of the PF. I am possibly about the only one that has chosen that route option, while others have since resigned from the PF so that they remained as independent candidate. That is how much I love the PF, and whoever loves the PF, I'll give up everything and anything to remain a member of the PF. I gave up my MP candidates in Lima as independent. Anyone who's alive to the politics will know that, geopolitics will know that I've easily won that seat under any symbol, but because it meant I give up being a member of PF, I gave up that to stay as a member of PF. If it means me being alone, that I'll do. But I know that Charity won't go anywhere. I know Nkumbula, Petronia won't go anywhere. I know these people won't go. All this is now in the past, and water under the bridge. It is what it is. It is what it is. As Machiavelli said, when the external factor is changing, you cannot change it. It is what it is. You should look at how you can change yourself to fit in the external changes. Annoying, however, is that the same former ministers, same former PF bigwigs or MCC, and those that held the ECL hostage, those that held this hostage against me when he was president and I was mayor, and continued to hold him hostage after he resigned, the same one that want to continue to hold him hostage in his death, they are the same one blocking his burial. All their political career is based on using ECL's name. When he was president, they held him hostage. After he lost, they held him hostage and they forced him to come back. When he's died, they've held his body hostage. Those are the people that are there. I won't mention them name, but if need be, I have no shame to mention them. They are the same ones who now stand. Miles has destroyed the PF. They claim I've destroyed PF, and yet it's them who made the PF lost. It's them that made the ECL lost in 2021. When they made ECL lose in 2021, and when they made PF lose in 2021, that was the beginning of the problem of the PF and the problems that we have now. So when you are in a Kambwanga saying Miles now knowledge, and just know it's those same one. Those are the ones who hold ECL hostage, and they still want to hold his body hostage. And I'm saying enough is enough. It's unprecedented all over the world. I'm even happy that I wanted to hold a press conference yesterday due to some circumstances I hold today. They were calling me, you've pushed it tomorrow. Nepali ECL was the memorial. You should be respectful. Come on, Ivane. Don't be a cult. They want to be a cult under ECL, his name and his body. They can't even tell you what their name is. All they want ECL, this ECL. You've even seen them. PF to them now just started when ECL took over. They've even removed Sata's name and pictures. Them is just ECL. They have no love for the PF. They have no love for the history. And we are saying we love President Sata and we love President ECL. And because we love him and because of the culture of Zambia, we want him buried. All those to my issues you bring up. No, he said he didn't want this, said he didn't want. Are you telling me Mpezeni, if we ask the wife, I don't know if Mpezeni had one wife or two wives. If being a chief, he might have had more. If we go and ask them, Mpezeni, we sat about them anyway. Or what? And she says, Mouse and Papa Mpezeni didn't love you, should not come to the funeral. Is that the way we're going to run our country? Me, even if they say Mpezeni love me, I know the relationship I had. I'll go there to mourn Mpezeni. That's how we live in Zambia. We don't, those who are living, we take over for the good of the nation. I'll travel around the world and they ask me, what's wrong with you, Zambian? What's wrong with Zambia? I have no more answers anymore. So may those who are trying to use ECL's death and body for their own political progress stop it. And you body. Let me tell you something for nothing. Because of that, lesaka mipanisha mukapono ubibonse. You are going to lose because it's an Zambian to use. Sata died in 2014. He was my uncle. Did you see us using? Have you ever heard me try to use Sata as the dead body or name? I just tell myself my name as it were. Even at that time Sata died, there was a lot of say. Oh, chetu bashika kuchitulika kumushikumpika. Oh, tuchitefi. You think the widow Akaseva had no ideas of how she wanted him to be buried? No, but when it's a state funeral, the state takes over and they make decisions. These political jobs we take, and you become a president of Zambia, it's a state funeral, the state takes over. Now we are going all over. 1 year. How has it benefited anyone? I saw President Lubinda today say, no, he must be buried. The family should give up. I don't know his reasoning, and I concur. Let's bury President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. It's an Zambian to keep anybody and buried for 1 year. Whatever reason you have, does not hold water. Allow this now, and it's under the water the bridge. Let me now go to the gist where I've called you. Item 2, the August 2026 general election. Nalanda history. Ushumfapatu nono nefing 21 fwe. Why I'm here, where we started from. So Badiabambi Balendwa since Sata died, they have not stopped and they'll continue fighting me for their own political survival. Now, since January 2026, I made a deliberate effort to meet political party presidents of all political parties and key players in the political, geopolitical of Zambia to chat on the best leadership for Zambia the next 5 years, post-August 2026. Most of them came here. Madam cooked lunch. We ate. All of them, you saw them here. Mentioned them. Kalaba was here. Fred Member was here. And many others. And just to compare notes, I met about all of them. And on the list of presidential candidates, those that I did not, there are a few that I did not meet, but I've looked at the list and met all of them, including some running mates. It reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, now to also disclose and mention that one of the people that I met and came for lunch here was my brother, President Sean Tembo, and this said party. And those, and when he came here, given that the PF matters when you were in court, he offered me and his party that I should be the presidential candidate and he should be the running presidential candidate of his party. Their ticket was disqualified by the Registrar of Society, OCZ, because it showed that the party was a church and not a political party. Now imagine if I had accepted. So the Registrar of Society would have visited me again. So I'm happy I stayed out of that issue. I'm just trying to show how Registrar of Societies haunts me. Item 3. As I conclude, the PF, the Patriotic Front, and my endorsement of the 2026 presidential candidate, Mao Sampa, Mao Emmanuel Bwaria Sampa, and the PF, these are seated here, and the Central Committee. What is our endorsement? We will not sit idle. While I was late, I was consulting those I think are important in the life of PF. And some of them were saying, no, just stay quiet for the next 5 years. I said, Imwe, inendimwa iche. Imwe kabie ni mwikale quiet. Imwe kabie ni kufahamu. If you are to sit idle, you sit alone. This is my country. This is their country. At any point in time, we have to take a position. What is good for Zambia? Those who want to say, no, just watch and stay idle, you watch yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 to 2026 season is officially over. The last season of 5 years was officially over when Parliament was dissolved last month. The transfer window or endorsement window is open. namuo faz na kuipio kula wa transfer window ya isula. Mbappe now is a free agent. Mbappe is a free agent for the coming season from 2026 to 2031. Real Madrid was disqualified, but Mbappe will not just stay idle. Who will he play for in the meantime? On Sunday last week, 13th May 2026, the PF Central Committee met to decide on who to back for the top contender for the president of Zambia, for the good of Zambia. Because whoever becomes president, whether you like it or not, is a president for you as well. So we might as well have a say. The decision was anonymous. Anonymous meaning everyone agreed. By all those that attended, a quorum was formed. And the decision was that due to economic stride scored in the last 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, and on behalf of the current bona fide members, there are many Gonga members, on behalf of the current bona fide members of the PF, on the current bona fide MCs on the PF here, I do hereby endorse President HH as the best candidate in the August presidential election. I now Sampa and the Patriotic Front, on behalf of the MCCA and all bona fide members, we hereby do endorse President HH as the best candidate in the August 2026 elections to take Zambia for the next 5 years. After we've looked at all the candidates that are there, he is the best candidate for Zambia. It's worth underscoring that the PF and Mao Sampa have not joined the UPND. We have not joined the UPND, but we have simply picked their candidate, presidential candidate HH, as the best of all of them suited to steer Zambia to greater heights until 2031. However, Shaishiba difference between endorsement and joining Fiabo. We are an alliance who have endorsed. Therefore, we shall immediately go flat out. These people are seeing. These are strong campaigners. And this campaign from the heart. You don't need to pay a charity anything to campaign for you. You don't need to pay me anything. All these people, when we believe in a cause, tunafunga amachisha twapeteka so olo twaingira mu nkondo, money or no money, food or no food, we campaign. And make no mistake, Mbappe has not lost a campaign ever. We've been losing Chawama, and we'll win again where we are putting our heart to campaign. Therefore, we shall immediately go flat out to campaign for President HH countrywide and ensure that he gets his second term and carry on to push the massive macro and micro economic successes that he has scored. Macro are the bigger picture, micro ni mu kitchen mweno where you are. What are the small things? Kuli soti, kuli sugar, munganda, kuli cooking oil, and macro are the bigger pictures, the prices, inflation, and this is what I'll do now. Let me highlight some of President HH's scores in the last 5 years. Remember that season finished, I was one of the biggest critics in Parliament and otherwise last 5 years. I was playing my role as opposition. I didn't go to the farm. I kept speaking, reminding. So maybe that helped to push the UPND to perform. Let me tell you, President HH, why we have endorsed him and the 10 reasons. 10. I was Deputy Minister of Finance. I was a banker for 15 years with Barclays Bank, ABSA, with Finance Bank and Loita Capital, and Deputy Minister of Finance. So I know these financial matters and economic matters very well. Partly why as Deputy Minister I was dropped then, I asked to be removed by President Sat. It's because I said
whatever we are doing here is not good for the country. We are borrowing very fast. We borrowed 750 euro bond, good rate. Within no time, we are being told to borrow again. I said, we have not used this money, let's not borrow. So I kept arguing with the status quo, and I asked to be removed from the Ministry of Finance and taken elsewhere. Not once, but twice. The letters are there, somewhere in cabinet, and that's how I went to Commerce. It was a rebellion. When they were voting in Parliament to borrow again, I voted no in that Parliament. The records are there in 2014. Because I saw that economically this will just put us under a ditch and make the country suffer for many years. And indeed, fast forward, that's what happened. But here is HH. I want to tell you, I'll say it, but those who hate President HH for personal reasons, fear no if you. If we were not in politics for personal hatred, we in politics for one common thing, to develop Zambia and save the people of Zambia. I'll say it later, but I'll say it now. To me, it doesn't matter who someone's tribe is. As long as you know what you are doing for the good of the people of Zambia, I'll support you. And here's President Edgar, here's President Edgar Chagalungu, rest in peace. There's some good things he did, but those people around him misled him, some of the ministers. But here are the 10 reasons why I and the PF here, the MCC and everyone, have endorsed President HH. Here are the reasons. In the last 5 years, number one, in Zambia, there has been increased foreign direct investment, FDI. This is money, foreigners bringing money from America, from Europe, from China, from South Africa, putting it into Zambia, millions. When they like what they are seeing, they bring that money, so you can track it. You see that FDI has increased last 5 years. Number two, the kwacha has been stable. The exchange rate of the kwacha, it's now 17 to $1. It was about 19 or 20 in August 2021. It represents about 12% strength. My job in the bank was the exchange rate setting. It doesn't happen on its own. It only happens when people have confidence in the leadership of the day. Number three, single-digit inflation. It was about 20% in 2021, August, and now we are talking about a single-digit inflation of 7%, representing a drop of about 60%. That means there is price stability. That's the reason. Number four reason, the Bank of Zambia foreign exchange reserves in the history of Zambia, and all the presidents, due respect to all of them, the reserves at the Bank of Zambia have always been about $3 billion, $3.5 billion. Ask me now, today, what they are. They are $6.5 billion. Representing about 100% increment. That shows a lot. It shows discipline, it shows planning for the future. It means if suddenly we have drought or we have a catastrophe in Zambia or there's famine, we have money saved to import. There's 5-6 months import cover. Number five reasons. We used to see a lot of pensioners protesting all over there by the court or Ministry of Legal or Labor. But today, President HH, the pensions, there is a partial and full payment, and other than that, there is the free education that have made into law. It's unprecedented in Zambia, and for free education, we're only about the second country now in Africa, after Ghana or so, that has made it free education a law. It's a law now to charge those pikininis starting grade 1. It's against the law to charge them. Free education now is a law. Number six, why we have endorsed President HH to carry on for the next 5 years. There is evident visibility of new roads. Everywhere you go, there's earth-moving equipment. There is machinery at work in all constituencies. I drive a lot in Lusaka urban and in Lusaka rural. All you see are graders, TOB, water bowsers, compactors, doing work everywhere you go. It means there's a lot that is going on.
These can only lead to a better roads infrastructure in the next 5 years. So we should not disturb that, so that all those equipment we're seeing everywhere, now everywhere it can be tarmacked. Number 7, I'm talking about 10 reasons. Now in Zambia, there is more copper and there's more gold mines that are operational countrywide. Before there were a few, but now there's more. You hear of gold in Mpika, you have gold in Mumbwa, you have gold in Kasempa, in Mufumbwe, in Petauke. At least we're hearing about it. Before, maybe it was just underground. And then even the copper mines, before we only had 3 big copper mines, now we have more. So with that, there is jobs being created, and the more we can generate, that's what has led to reserves. Number 8, I'm going to 10. There's immense physical discipline generally, and no wonder there's fiscal discipline. Discipline means that spender. So there's fiscal discipline. Namusenda mukasa kakandalama. Namusenda mwechola. Tukasangana mukampeni tukalanda bwino. So there's immense fiscal discipline generally. No wonder the finance minister, Dr. Stumbeko Musokotwane, recently won the award of the best finance minister in Africa. If you didn't know about it, last month, our finance minister of Zambia, Dr. Musokotwane Stumbeko, was awarded as the best finance minister in Africa. This is unprecedented, unless I can be reminded which other finance minister won that award. And I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the finance minister and also congratulate his supervisor, the President HH. It means a lot. The other world is seeing, and like I said, those micro and macro economic indicators are working well. Number 9, peace, violence and cadarism at markets and bus stops and public places is far better now than what it was when we were in power and when I was mayor. Cadarism, violence, now it's not that it's finished, but it's better than when we were in power. I experienced both times in this government and in our government PF. I was mayor then. I was abducted 3 times by our own cadres as mayor. Under this government, we get to register CDF or what, but it's much better. People can walk in the street, people can walk freely without being harassed, so to speak. So it's better than it was, and I can only appeal to President HH that in the next 5 years, we should not have cadarism anywhere in the markets or bus station or anywhere. Zambians should be at peace to freely move, like happens in Botswana and elsewhere. Lastly, why we have endorsed President HH, we have looked at people surrounding President HH, those people around him, and then we compare to people surrounding other candidates, and we think those surrounding President HH are better people than those surrounding and have already hijacked the other candidates. Some of them, they are the same people that hijacked President Edgar Lungu and made him lose in 2021. And then you have these candidates that they have already hijacked. What do you expect? But President HH, when I look at him and the people around him, they are better people. So that's why we're endorsing President HH. Experience, I've experienced both regimes. Bane, what they say is that amenshi akonko mufolo. So if the bad people are surrounding you, that means even you follow where those bad habits are. Mention one name, one day I'll mention among some candidates, those that are surrounding them. You see how bad they are, how bad they were with President Edgar Lungu. So they want to just, if they win, they'll continue what they were doing that time. And that's why they've captured those candidates. But under President HH, you don't see anyone around him. And if there's anyone around him, you can't pinpoint what their bad habit is. They are not thieves, They are not corrupt. They don't sponsor cadarism. They are better people. What can you pick on Dr. Musokotwane? What's bad with him? He's just a gentleman who does his job quietly. And all those people. So President HH is surrounded by better people than those other candidates. Vane akoni kekala pamusambo katemenwe. Pamusambo tutemenwe ni pale va HH. This bed will sit on the HH. Those other beds, they fly, they can go and sit where they want. Olo akanani ni awo kalipabwadi. Akanani akalipabwadi ni va HH. Idoli ashidi eno. All I'm saying, we have 2 plates. With Kalembla here, with Bondo there, and there's Nshima. You can't say, let's go and kill the chicken bear. No, you choose what is there. As what is there, we are choosing President HH as the best option. We are opposition and we have enemies. We are choosing the best enemies of all of them. But also on behalf of the Zambians, we believe HH means well, and we believe the next 5 years will uplift the lives of all Zambians. As this decision to endorse HH was formally made by the PF Central Committee, it's the official position of the party, and any member that insists on having a contra position, they are free to go and campaign for any other candidate, but in their own capacity. Wacharita turepatikisha, this is our position as PF, but uminga tarefog to conquer because of their tribal hatred, because of their personal hatred for HH. They are free to go and campaign for anybody else, but they should not do it in the name of the PF. They should do it in their own capacity. The official position of the PF is here. The PF will live another day, but we have a role to be part of making and escorting President Edgar Lungu, escorting President Edgar Lungu to his burial. We want him buried. We don't want him to continue to be in the mortuary. If it means quite diplomacy, will be pushing, let's bury President Edgar Lungu. But the PF will live another day, but we have a role to be part of making and escorting President HH to his second term for the good of the country and its development agenda. In the last 5 years, I'm probably about the only politician. In the last 5 years, I'm probably about the only politician in Zambia that has driven to about all districts of the 10 provinces to meet the PF officials and also to meet Zambians in those districts in general and see how they live. I, Mao Sampa, therefore, I have a good idea. I have a good idea where this election will be won and lost by all those candidates you are seeing there for presidential. I can therefore safely predict that President HH will win these presidential elections. For the MPs, I'm predicting President HH. But for the MPs, all of them is too close to call. Cannot predict anyone. But for the Lusaka mayor office, I have a local standard because I was the mayor of the beautiful city of Lusaka. I therefore want to endorse my brother Chitambala Mwewa as the next mayor for Lusaka. Chitambala Mwewa worked closely with me when I was mayor from 2018 to 2021. And he was passionate in cleaning the city. We partnered in the Lusaka project and together we cleaned the city. And I can state that he has been more than ready to be the mayor of Lusaka. He's been preparing for the last 15 years. I was equal to the task as mayor. That's why everyone misses me in Lusaka as Boba. But I can tell you that Chitambala Mwewa will even be better than me as mayor of Lusaka. Vote for SML as mayor of Lusaka and vote for President HH as president of Zambia. Conclusion, a gentle reminder that in genuine objective politics for the good of any nation,
there is no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. In politics, there is no permanent friends and there is no permanent enemies. There is only permanent common goals of serving the people and developing the nation. There's only permanent common goals of serving the people and developing the nation. It's for that reason that there has been government of coalition and government of unity in countries like Kenya and countries like South Africa. Only because political parties come together to serve the people when the situation demands such. It's only those individuals, only those women and men whose politics is of self-aggrandization, whose politics of self-enriching agenda that make permanent enemies. But why? It's because them, it's about personal enrichment. They see that person may not help them, they just want somebody that can make them rich. They don't put the country first. What they have, and which I won't be part of, personal hatred and enemies is not part of Mao Sampa's politics. Personal hatred and enmity is not part of Mao Sampa politics. Tribal and ethnic politics is also not part of Mao Sampa politics. Tribal and ethnic politics is not also part of Mao Sampa politics. In the past, I have campaigned and been part of making a president. First time I helped make a president in the campaigns was a president from the north. That was Michael Sat. In 2015, I helped campaign materially and otherwise, and I helped make a president from the east. That was Edgar Chagwalungu in 2015. This time around, Mao Sampa will campaign for a president from the southern part of Zambia. Tribe is not an issue with Mao Sampa, together with the team here.
Yes.
How will you wish to interpret, how anybody out there will wish to interpret our decision or my decision? I'm comforted knowing that Michael Sata is happy where he is.
Exactly.
He's happy with this decision. I knew him better politically. I grew up under his arm and under his school of thought of politics. Michael Sata never kept personal grudges.
Yes.
Michael Sata worked with President HH before in an alliance. Those who are not there, Michael Sata worked with President HH before in an alliance.
Yes.
And so while you people keep saying, oh, you hate HH, you hate HH, the founder of the PF was in an alliance with HH before. Check your history. And so, are we at this point of the country's geopolitics, as I've done, endorsed President HH? All for the good of the poor people. It's all for the good of poor people. Me, I worked in the banks, I have my money to take care of my family. But I try to help. Even this Kakuja Skachepa, it was my money from my salary from Parliament. The last 5 years, all the salary I was giving it away. Nobody have a castle who like to point fingers. All I do is, and I've done this for the good of the poor people to uplift their lives. What's going on in the country last 5 years under HH can only go to uplift lives next 5 years. All these have highlighted the 10 reasons. It only means next 5 years there's a platform to help the poor people. And the PF is a pro-poor. So if we see there's a platform that HH and UPN have made to enable the poor become better because the roads are better, their produce will be easily accessed in rural areas, the macroeconomic fundamentals are correct, the next thing that can happen is the kitchen economics, people's lives become better. So we are meeting there where now President HH wants to help the poor, and our principle as the PF under Michael Sata was pro-poor. So if infrastructure is being set,
If reserves have increased from 3 billion to 6 billion, where is that money going to go? Why is it being saved? It's being saved for the poor people. So why should we fight somebody doing what we also believe in? Ladies and gentlemen, may the soul of Michael Sata and may the soul of Edgar Chagwa Lungu continue to rest in peace. It is better the enemy we know than the angel that we don't know. We know President A Church, and that's why we've endorsed him. And together we will. God bless you all, and God bless Zambia. Thank you very much. And make no mistake, only if you are an alliance and your PF should use the guardian. Don't abuse PF. They were quick to leave PF. Their agenda was to destroy PF and kill it, and they've gone to their parties. So they should not wear PF regalia. They should not use PF song because they don't love PF. They should not use PF symbol. Since you think you are somebody, you call us Wanan fighters, you go and do your own thing. Use the chola, Kasakandarama, or whatever you want to use. But don't abuse the PF, paraphernalia, the songs, and the symbol. The PF has endorsed President. Thank you very much.
No question.
Before we sing the national anthem, it's late, but I was anticipating you are going to ask this question, but I'll ask it and answer it for you. Have you been paid to endorse President H? No. Unless you don't know President H. First of all.
I'm good.
If you go to him, you want him to
Yes,
pay
sir.
you, then you will not be paid. Secondly, unless you don't know Mao Sampa. I've told you how I've made my money when I was in the bank. And I don't need anyone to endorse me or to pay me. If any, for my political decision. When I reconciled with President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, they came out and said, "Oh, you have been paid $5 million or $20 million." When they rumored that I was going to endorse Brian Mundubile, others came, "Oh, Brian has paid me $5 million." So you never offend the people, right? And the same people say that when you look at them, it's me who's been helping them with my personal money. It's the reason PF we lost in 2021. Because people start thinking politics as an avenue to be paid money. There is no money being paid to endorse. If President H gave me money, I would refuse. I've never made a political decision based on money. I make decisions based on my conviction and based on what I think is for Zambia.
I'm just a principled woman.
So Ngamanfomuntu post or right being paid, and there's at 6 million. There's no such money, and I'm glad President H is bringing this place. People should work, give them opportunities to make money, not more pocket ones. Not more pocket ones. There's no such free money. That's why those other ones are bad people, because they want to come and get money from the treasury, so they give people for free. It doesn't lead the country anywhere. It leads to debt, big debt, and it destroys the macroeconomic fundamentals of the country, and no one benefits. What we are supporting now is everyone should be given a platform, an avenue to make money through their companies and otherwise. So Ngamawunat have been paid. I was almost insulting. Ask them, has Mao's ever given you money or anything in the last 10 years? All of them, you'll find that I have. Ask them, have they ever given me, even Zari, all of them, even the former ministers, ask them, no, nothing. So I've spent my life helping them, and today they are saying that he's been paid. So no. And to President H and UPND, I'm not looking for money. I'm supporting you, we're supporting you on principle.
Genuinely.
because we think you are better than all of those on the ballot. Thank you very much.
Is our cry. Dignity and peace means Zambia's cry. Like a noble eagle in the sky. Zambia, praise to thee. Oh, one strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise be, praise be. Bless our great nation. Zambia, Zambia. Free men we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free.
Thank you.
Mwelesa tuatotra perishonse tuakwata okulanshana pa yunenchende tuatotra mwespanto amashiyonse mwelesa yachikuma ubwika shibwesu muchero chesu cha Zambia. Tuabika mwelesa wesu intunguru chose cha muno mzambia mwabukena chitaka naweza. Tuatotra kanaweza tuwasobu chino pakataka mioshu Yesu. Ukupitia bimwano Yesu Kristo Yesu. Amen. Amen. Zambia.